As a spiritual person, we're all aware that we are our presence. We're not our body, this lifetime. We're not the problems we have or the solution to the problems. We're made of light and air and a divine, softly lit incandescence that's always visible to us, always. We are always aware that we are not this world, that we are this presence. It streams through us, around us, by us, but it has nothing to do, it does not touch the material world at all, ever. That's why we can put our hands on someone, we can pray, we can care. And the difficulty is that 99% of people in the world are whatever is going on all the time. Doesn't mean that some large percentage of them are spiritually orientated, but they're seldom practiced where we can communicate directly. But all the truly spiritual people in the world, they meet us and we're not here. We're simply never been here. And that's the escape route for all people in the world. That's why we're born. That's why we're here, because we're not here. And we're here to remind everyone that they're not their conditioned experience. We go back, let's do that now. We're going to count from 100 to 90, and at 90 will be, let's say, 10 days before their birth, or 10,000 eons before. There is no time or place or substance. There's nothing physical in spirituality. That's the point that's being spread here. That we are this presence. And this presence has nothing to do with the material environment whatsoever. That's what's been called Maya, the illusion, in Sanskrit, meaning you look right through it. And we're going to be there at 90. First, relax your breathing. Relax your shoulders, elbows, every joint in your body, down through the toes. Just feel a subtle sweetness fill the air. Body relaxed. Mind is gone. The thinking mind. What's called in the Orient the monkey mind, always looking for something. So if you drop your conditioning to anything and the mind goes, then you just have this quietude, this experience of a softly lit room at night with one candle, one prayer. We're there at 90, before birth. Everything relaxed. Thank you. $100. $99. $98. $97. 96. 95. This world never was, only your soul. You are the light of ages. 95. 94. 93. You are the holy light of heaven. 92. This life never happened. 92. 91, 90. The physical consciousness should go up in a puff, as it does for all of us who are spiritual many, many times during the day and evening hours, doesn't it? And then of a sudden this thought, that thought, a door, a banging sound, anything, a body discomfort. And if we stop paying attention to everything, we'll look through it all as though it never was, because it never was. Only you, this deep, deep quiet. And you allowed your awareness to stream into this infinitesimal drainage point. So allowed yourself to be born here, as it were, although there is no here spiritually. And those of us who are spiritual are aware of an unimaginably delicate atmosphere that's 1,000 trillion quadrillion times more pure and simple than the physical form. But that's why we can say it's an illusion, not that we don't experience all the pain and trauma, because the spiritual person, you're born here to experience the trauma of it and the pain of it all, so you can help walk your friends out of it. That's why we're here. That's what a bodhisattva is. Meaning a person who gives up their own happiness to keep pulling the friends and loved ones out of the fires of disbelief and faithlessness, the raging fires of hell that this world is, and it's all projected by one infantile force, as this lost little being that projects it all. Now, if you're spiritual, the idea that the whole world is nothing. I have never not looked through it all every moment of my life under the most grievous circumstances to anything else. Doesn't mean that I wasn't in the grievous circumstance, in the middle of horrendous circumstances, but even there, I'm aware of God. I'm speaking for all of us who are spiritual. Please forgive me for that. We're not here. We never will be. This isn't here. I met a teacher of mine, Rosamond, she had it on her car, that this is not here. And she really meant it. And this is not here. It never was. But we're here in that bodhisattva sense to help walk our friends out of the pain of it all, the tragedy, the sorrowfulness that fills the heart and soul of a decent person around the world, because we care. It's not a stupid caring. It's not a social political stand we're making. It's transcendent of that. I mean, there's a right and wrong in every circumstance, but the spiritual sense of it is so delicate and ephemeral in the sense of its comparison to a normal mortal emotional or physical feeling. And you're always one breath away from that place before birth, before time or circumstance, where pain never saw the light of day, where your loved ones are safe in your arms. You know it's being said. You have the greatest love in the world, and yet the world will be on you around the clock. You have a thing called divorce in this world, where you love each other forever, and yet all these circumstances are at you. Doesn't mean you won't love each other at the deathbed more than you might now. Not in every instance. There's right and wrong in every circumstance, but the real you will love forever, and it won't allow the world, every circumstance of the conditioned world, to get it between you and your love. I know all those that I love and care for in this life are with me now and forever, and although we can't be with them materially. We can be one with them in eternity, in that non-material substance called the soul. Let's be there now with all those we love. You know what's being said, and there's no right or wrong in this, or passion. It's not the passion thereof, it's the quiet of love, the purity of love, transcendent of this world. And there's so much more love in that. You understand? You're not a victim. You've allowed that to crawl all over you, to creep inside your clothes. It's like the way this world is. You have to give a part of yourself up for everything. Step aside from the world. Go back before birth, time, circumstance. And you'll see him, the only God. And you are God's presence in this hellhole called the world, the material world. Remember in the Bible, Jesus Christ said, if you don't hate the whole world, if you don't hate your own life, for my name's sake, you're not worthy of me. And of course, all these things were said in a mystical, spiritual sense. In other words, you don't love your body or your time or the circumstance or the political forces. You have to hate the world, not hate. You understand? These are when mystics say these things. And the translations become whatever. The point is that it's meant in the most mystical sense. You don't want to get ahead in the world. You don't want to survive. You want to give. And if you give yourself away, you'll become yourself, your soul. You are the beginning and end of everything real. The subtle presence that you're aware of all day is you. You were never born. You can never die. Every great mystic, every great soul, the great teachers, the great persons were aware of. They are you. You are they. You're them now. Allow yourself to feel the presence, the oneness, the simplicity of it all. When you step beyond this world consciousness, you're one presence. And some stupid people go and ask, what about happens? It's like, it's so much more than all this. And you can be aware. You can look off into the kingdoms of all these spiritual planes of being, universes, kingdoms, and you can see the actual the throne of grace, the throne of God. There is such a place. And the more you align yourself with that, the more you'll be aware that He looks at us with an unimaginable humility in the same way we look at a child. Do you understand? But He's humble before us, if you can imagine that, because humility is the pathway to godliness. Your power is in being humble before God. That's why as a healer we can deal. I walk into any kind of place or room with people and I can instantly adjust and fall into it and gather what I have to do to walk through this madness. It's I say that, my buddy Greg has that, my buddy Rob has it, big tough guy, strong but kind, and also you're professional business people for many years and you know how to deal with things, how to handle people. But when you add this mystical breath to it, you literally can walk through hell. You are walking through hell. to pull those you love, to grab them all and put them in your heart and take them back before birth and remind them how great a soul they are. They allow themselves to be born into this world for a reason. Infinite, compassionate, unimaginable humility, humble before God. Somehow in this infinite grace of a divine universe, this thing appeared, this world, with this little devil person that projects it all, and I can explain that in a minute. And so you saw the pain of it, and you allowed yourself to become like all these other lost beings, and that's what happened at birth. Every birth is a divine one. You're coming at the world from that sense. You give up divinity to crucify yourself as you come in as a child. Greg's little granddaughter, just 8 pounds, and just it makes sense. The whole family makes sense then, right? When you have a new child in the family and you bring that sense of innocence to everything, and everyone knows why they did their part, why they fought to go through college or a job, or never left their wife or husband, and whatever. I try to teach your sons the rules of the road, so that they could understand how to deal with this place here. And today we're simply understanding that you understand the rules of the road. You no longer have to abide by them. You have the power and presence of God with you now. God will be with you every moment of this endeavor. You are the first and last cause, the reason. You're the child with divine birth. You will not fail in this mission. You're heaven's hero. You'll feel this with you day and night, as you have from birth. And we've all lived through the horrors of this world, some of us beyond imagining. But we walk through the fires with grace and dignity and kindness and love. And we're not silly or stupid in this. This isn't a failing scenario. This is divine justice. That you're here to provide. You are the King of Kings. You're given that now. It's your birthright. Look back before this birth, before the conditioning, before the pain, the trauma, the fighting. You know who you are. And the warmth and grace of your heart and hands will answer every question, heal every heart. You'll bring a justice to this place. You won't die. You'll be more and more formidable, a foe to the dark side by simply giving it nothing. Nothing, in consciousness, in awareness. You're deconditioning yourself to this world. You are your soul. Your soul is infinite purity and presence. There's nothing to fear. So you decondition yourself. You'll all find ways, we will all find different ways of letting go of our conditioning. My friend Rosamond, I mentioned, she had just unimaginable, intelligent ways of letting go of conditioning and teaching others. And we each have a teacher. We each have many teachers. We each have an oversoul. Mine is my mother. my teacher Kathleen, most of all, my teacher who will carry me through to the end of this fight is your heart. Won't you be my teacher? And carry us across the threshold to a new beginning, beyond time or circumstance or place. Your dignity and kindness, after all you've gone through, after all you have lived through, the confusion of it, the complexity of it, the silliness of it, the pain and trauma of it, yet you keep trying to dig forward and go forward, and look how brave you are. This is a true hell that you've given yourself to. You gave up your divine birth to take part in the tragedy so you could understand it. Now you understand it. And you can take these words and walk out into an eternal sunrise. But it won't be a sun. It'll be the God of gods that you're walking back to. You will fulfill a most holy destiny. God will be with us every second of this. So don't worry about any detail. It will come to you. It will come to you. I remember my friend Roz, one day she said, "What's wrong?" And I told her what was wrong, and within a day she wrote a letter. She worked for the government. Her husband wouldn't let her send it because she worked for the government. And so we created our own institute, et cetera, et cetera. This has happened to me dozens and dozens and dozens of times where I go through some enormous tragedy, and I'm saying this for all of us, and then an answer comes from it where I can aid to that particular area of injustice in the world. So for me, I understand how to do that everywhere, in every way. So this will come to you, and come to you and come to you. God is with you. In your heart of hearts, you'll see that God is you, and that's why you're so gosh dang humble. That's not you. The part of you that's so humble, that's God. You are of divine birth. You will fulfill this wonderful dream you've had before birth, to walk through the fires of disbelief and faithlessness and sing a new song. You're holy, you're a teacher. Give it away, give it away. There'll be an answer for every circumstance, every problem, every difficulty. And with the answer, you'll be glad to have gone through the insanity. In fact, you'll be glad all over. You're God's answer in consciousness to everything. The things that can't seem to be fixed in this world, social, political, that you're looking through a place of holiness. You'll provide the answer. The answer will be of spiritual origin. You are of spiritual origin. Think back before birth. You'll never die. This is done because of you. Because of you. Because of you. There's an answer for everything. And the question man just died. Why this, why that? And that's the projection of this thing called the devil. And once you see the devil, I just put him in my hands like this. And when I'm dealing with people, the whole room is quiet because there is no devil. There's just this presence. Might take you a few days or months or weeks or 15 seconds to get there, but as soon as you see it in your presence, goodbye, little man. But there's no hardness with it. It's just a... And then the walls of Jericho will collapse because you care. Everything is subtle spiritual. Don't react to anything, like my teacher Rosenberg taught us. And you're the teacher, the way shower, the healer. You're the psychologist. You're the mother and the father and the child. You're the purity of it all. The answers will come through you, from heaven above, because you're from heaven above. Thank you for listening to this. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Sculptor.